dust collection's a big deal in our industry, and been a really big deal in Southern California. Up until now, it's a big deal everywhere in the country and in the world. We took a Donaldson, another company we represented, Donaldson dust collector, and applied it to portable plants where they could adhere to the strict regulations from the South Coast Air Quality Management District and still travel portably with the dust collector, adhere to the regulations, do everything they needed to do to satisfy their permit, but still travel with it. Until then, people had to have standalone dust collectors, which doesn't travel well. Very difficult to do. But Mike saw a dust collector that they made that's called an insertable that sits on top of silo. A bin vent is more the industry term. But he said, why can't we put this on a portable plant? I said, I don't know. And he started, I still have the drawings right here in my file, the original sketches he made, back in in 98. And solve that problem. So he saw a need always, and then we went about massaging it and making it palatable to a customer. And we have to date, I think 2,070 of these that we've sold to different applications.
So was that your first real innovation?
We took something that they used as a stationary thing, set on top of silos, say a cement silo, where they're blowing cement into a silo. And, with the powder that's being blown into, there's a lot of cubic feet per minute of air that blows it in there. Well, that clean air has to vent through something that would be a dust collector that's set on top of the silo. We used that technology to put on a jaw crusher, a cone crusher, a vertical shaft impactor, a horizontal shaft impactor that even traveled down the road.
Okay.
And solved that problem. Where the solution before was, well, we make dust collectors and it's this big, gigantic thing that sit in the middle of the plant with ducting and, a big spider web of ducting going to pick up points. And by the way, these are in All-American. I mean, Vulcan has, I'm just guessing 60 of them in their stationary aggregate plants.
Did that help launch your guys' company a little bit, or were you already doing great with all the other products?
We were doing well with everything else. We're a small company, still a small company. We like being small. Boutique allows us to pay attention to our customers better than a big company. Everybody in the company has ownership in, the solutions and the service that we provide. Actually, we started that in Nevada for a company, Nevada Ready Mix, that had a problem, and they had to put dust collectors on every transfer point coming out of the pit. Well, if you can imagine the amount of ducting it would take to a central dust collector over miles, impossible. So we use these small insertables, and we could put one at every little transfer point and satisfy what the air district wanted and the adjacent school, for the children's air quality. So, people complain about the air district, Brian, a lot, like they're charging us all this money and we have to put blah, blah, blah. But, if you were raised in Southern California, back in the 60s and 70s.
And had smog alerts and everything.
It had smog alerts and you couldn't breathe and you weren't allowed to go to school. We don't have those anymore. I mean, our sky's blue. It's we very rarely have an inversion that causes us. I don't remember the last time my chest burned.
Right.
Over smog, right?